80 years ago, Edward R. Murrow's radio broadcast reached millions of Americans, informing many of them for the first time of the atrocities committed by Nazi Germany. And the legendary D.B. Cooper case is picking up again in Southwest Washington. It's all based on new information from an air traffic controller. In the next few days, 4 hand crews will assemble right here and be sent out anywhere across the state that is battling fires right now. We spoke to one of those employees today who says he is hopeful that this layoff will be temporary as long as they are able to find a buyer in the near future. As of August 15th, the new airport terminal is now able to offer 5 to 6 flights to Seattle and 1 flight to Boise per day. They are also working on additional air service opportunities, including flights to Portland, Salt Lake City, and Denver. City of Pullman public work crews are working throughout the city today and tomorrow fixing potholes. Today we spoke to 2 of her childhood best friends who say that she was left with injuries so bad they're not sure when she'll be able to return home. Nearly 2 years ago, Ashley McGill was standing right here waiting for a bus on Southeast 133rd and Stark Street when she was hit and killed by street racers. They're searching for a sexual predator who is wanted in northern Idaho. Portland police tell us that they are working to address the gun violence at Dawson Park. We're here in Seattle. We've got a beautiful view of the Apple Cup here. We're seeing a lot of purple flooding through, but we're hoping that the Cougs are going to balance it out. Pomeroy has had a huge impact on the city of Portland. We're here at Cornet Custard right now, just one of the many restaurants that Pomeroy co-owned. As you can see, members of the community are expressing their love with flowers and notes and honoring her legacy. The air is thick with a haunting silence, disturbed only by the cries of the birds over the grounds of the former Buchenwald concentration camp. This place, located just 4.5 miles down the road from the city of Weimar, holds the echoes of suffering. Once just a symbol of pure evil, today Buchenwald also stands as a memorial to the 56,000 victims who died here. The clock tower behind me is permanently set at 3:15 p.m., marking the time at which Buchenwald was liberated 80 years ago. At Buchenwald, time stands still, and even 80 years after its liberation, we are reminded of the pivotal role journalism played in uncovering the atrocities of the Holocaust.
In the days just prior to VE Day, Allied divisions in Germany began meeting the most extreme victims of fascism. Out of death factories, there began to emerge the living, stumbling ghosts of Buchenwald, Dachau, and Belsen.
80 years ago, Edward R. Murrow's radio broadcast reached millions of Americans, informing many of them for the first time of the atrocities committed by Nazi Germany. Murrow is remembered as one of the most trusted voices of his time. He was a voice for the people, and his unapologetic reporting style was effective in painting the picture of death, leaving out only details he thought were too gruesome to share. Holger Obarius works as the director of education at the memorial. He says that without these first-hand accounts, Holocaust denial would have found a stronger foothold.
Many people say, I don't believe in something unless I have seen it. Just imagine that these pictures had not appeared in the US-American public. There would be much more room for denial and ignorance.
Today, Buchenwald stands as a reminder of the dangers of hate and intolerance. Rose Schaefer and her fellow volunteers at the memorial are devoted to this mission.
Every day you're working to keep the flame of their memory alive and kind of make something useful and meaningful out of their senseless death.
Despite the overwhelming evidence of the Holocaust, the fight against denial continues, with social media being a hotspot for misinformation. Findings from a Claims Conference survey say 49% of U.S. millennials and Gen Z have seen Holocaust denial or distortion posts on social media or elsewhere online.
So much evidence there. It's overwhelming. You know, millions of papers stating the crimes of the Nazis.
These efforts, alongside the work of journalists like Murrow, continue to reveal the truths of what happened at Buchenwald and in camps all across Europe.
The thing that's rewarding about this work is like finding meaning in keeping their memory alive on this deeper human level. Has to transcend being able to save them, being able to change history, being able to rewrite history.
As time passes, Buchenwald's mission remains clear: to challenge distorted histories and to educate future generations. As Murrow once said, the evidence of human suffering is all around me, and today it still is. The fight to preserve this history and to combat denial and misinformation continues, and for Obarius and his team, the work is ongoing. Because in an age where truth is under siege, the mission remains as vital as ever: to document, to expose, and to ensure the world never forgets. Murrow witnessed the horror, the humanity, and the devastation firsthand. Standing here today, you can't help but feel the weight of that legacy.
Was there to be still another cycle of affliction, appeasement, and annihilation? Or had we walked through midnight towards the dawn without knowing it?
I think that looks great. Awesome. Perfect.
WSU students are heading into Jackson Hall right now for a chance to get a professional headshot taken to boost their portfolio. Cable 8 Productions is hosting a philanthropy to get a headshot taken, and this is a pretty rare occurrence, as the only other chance for students to get a headshot is usually during the Murrow Symposium.
I think even the confidence that it gives me reaching out to people right now, the headshot that I have is relatively much more amateur, and it's a little bit more embarrassing when that's the profile photo that I use for Facebook or LinkedIn. I'm a little bit more skeptical to reach out, where I feel like I could look better. It's not my best photo. It's not the most professional. And so just something better will help me feel confidence in myself, and hopefully employers feel that.
The career world is continuing to expand, with platforms like LinkedIn and Handshake becoming vital for networking and employment.
You know, before you have social media, really, I think a lot of the people, the only time they took their photo was either like school photos or like for their ID card for the job they already have. But with the introduction of like LinkedIn, even just regular social medias, Instagram, Facebook, things you have to upload profile pictures onto, it's definitely way more mainstream and encouraged that you have a professional looking headshot.
Getting it right the first time is rare, because you want something that you feel confident putting out to a larger network, and that might take a few tries to find that authentic version of you. Here at the Murrow Center for Student Success, students train as Murrow ambassadors and make great resources for students navigating their future careers.
I think that being able to express yourself emotionally through the photo, obviously it's not going to be the same as meeting somebody face to face, but it gives a good idea originally of like what to expect and possibly who the person is.
Working alongside advisors and faculty as a Murrow ambassador, Caden knows the importance of a solid headshot both professionally and emotionally.
Being able to have a professional headshot, being able to feel strong, feeling confident in how you present yourself, I definitely think it can make a difference, and it changes the attitude you have going into it. Having a professional headshot that you truly feel confident in, I think it definitely helps you a lot. And it's something that, if nothing else, you know, it's something to fall back on and say, well, I need work with the other things, but hey, I got a good headshot, we got a good start, here we go. Now it's time to keep going.
I'm Brooke Bovenkamp, Murrow News 8. Flights have died down significantly, but when we arrived this morning, PDX was flooded with passengers awaiting more information of the status of their flight. I want to show you here along the wall. These are all Delta passengers still waiting for more information. They've been here for hours now. Flights at PDX have been either canceled or delayed. Edwin, who is flying on Spirit, is taking his girlfriend on a special trip to Vegas. Now he's in this long line hoping for a refund, as new flights are much more expensive.
Because it's like $700, so it's way more than what I had, but this one's for.
Still, Edwin says he'll go to extremes to make the trip happen.
So now I have to drive.
You're going to drive no matter what?
And no matter what, even if that takes I'll do whatever it takes.
Major airlines, including American, United, and Delta, had to ground most flights when the outage first hit, putting a rut in many vacation plans. However, some are managing to find optimism as technology has left them in the dark.
It didn't really give like the most accurate data.
Andrew and his family of 4 are flying American Airlines and says they still don't know the status of their flight home to Orlando, Florida.
Try to make the best of it and extend the vacation longer.
But no matter the outcome, it makes for a not so ideal waiting game for people traveling with kiddos.
They've been okay. We haven't been able to eat yet because this is our main priority, is getting to the airport, see what the status is of the flight. So they're a little cranky, but they're good for the most part.
The Port of Portland says not all of the airlines here were impacted, and flights have still been departing from PDX, like Alaska Airlines, who says they have not been affected whatsoever. The Port of Portland has added some extra staff to help answer any questions regarding the delays and cancellations. Now, if you're flying today, the airport is advising you to contact your airline directly to find out more information. Reporting from PDX, Brooke Bovenkamp, Fox 12, Oregon.